Am I the only one?
Aaron Lewis is a name that has been associated with modern country music in the last few years, but before he was a chart-topping solo artist, he was actually the frontman of a post-grunge rock band of the 2000s called Staind, known for its hits like The Outside and It's Been a While, which you might know by this. For 2 decades, Aaron Lewis saw great success with Staind, like I said, with songs like It's Been a While and The Outside. However, Aaron Lewis felt there was a lot to be desired. You see, Aaron Lewis felt a lot of inspiration from country music, which is evident in some of Staind's music. Some of his lyrical themes and performance, you could definitely tell he was taking inspiration from country music, and even some of the instrumentation, you could tell, took influence from country music, from the way it was performed. So in the 2010s, Aaron Lewis made a decision to step down from Staind. From all the research I've gathered, Staind said, Aaron Lewis frontman said he felt burnt out playing those songs every night and having to recall all those emotions. He just needed to do something different. So he took a hiatus from Staind and decided to become a country solo artist in the year 2011. This started with the release of his debut EP, Town Line, released in 2011, which is known for the big hit Country Boy with Charlie Daniels.
Now I grew up down an old dirt road in a town you wouldn't know. My pops picked the place up for $1,500 back in 1964.
He would then follow up that EP with his debut full-length solo album, The Road, released in 2012, which would house his cover of Granddaddy's Gone, recorded by Blake Shelton a few years earlier. And actually, I think Aaron Lewis's version is better. It's actually my favorite song off the album.
Just an old double-barrel 12, stock is cracked and it kicks like hell. Wouldn't mean what it means to me to no one. I can still hear his voice when I put it to my shoulder. Her guns like a woman, son, it's all how you hold her. Taught me a whole lot more than how to hunt. One of these days I'll pass it on to my grandson. My granddaddy's gone.
Overall, all the songs on The Road were written by Aaron Lewis, with the exception of Granddaddy's Gone, which was, of course, a cover. Some standout tracks from this album are, in my opinion, Endless Summer, Red, White, and Blue, and, of course, Granddaddy's Gone, which I would state as my top 3 favorite songs from this album. He would then release his second solo album, Sinner, in 2014, with some standout tracks, starting with the opener, Sinner, featuring Willie Nelson, which I think is a great opener. I think Willie Nelson is one of the best country artists that the genre has to offer, starting back in the 1960s. And Aaron and Willie Nelson's voices, personally, in my opinion, blend pretty well. He would then release, later on this album, a cover of Whiskey and You, which I find to be another standout track, which was originally recorded and released by Chris Stapleton, but I personally find Aaron Lewis's version to be the superior song, in my opinion.
Come tomorrow, I can walk in the store, it ain't a problem, and they'll always sell me more. But your forgiveness, well, that's something I can't buy. There anything that I can do? That's the difference between whiskey and you.
But I'll be hurting when I wake up on the floor. But I'll be overhead by noon. That's the difference between whiskey and you.
Now that you've heard both versions side by side, let me know which one you like more, because I still prefer the Aaron Lewis version. But that's not the only standout track on Sinner. The other standout track I would like to point out is the closing track, Travelin' Soldier, which is a Dixie Chicks cover that he did with his daughter, which I wasn't a big fan of in the beginning, if I'm going to admit. But as I listened to it more and more in preparations for reviewing this album, I really started to like it. It really grew on me. I really think that there's this beautiful connection between, you know, father and daughter recording a song together. There's definitely some chemistry there, and I think it's a beautiful track, and it's done really well. So I'm going to say it's actually a standout track.
I cried, never gonna hold the hand of another guy. Too young for him, they told you, waiting for the love of a traveling soldier. Our love will never end, waiting for the soldier to come back again.
Overall, I would actually say that Sinner is a step up from The Road. There's a lot more key tracks on this album that I really appreciate, those being Sinner, That Ain't Country, Whiskey and You, Story of My Life, Stuck in These Shoes, Whiskey and You, and the Travelin' Soldier cover. There's definitely a lot more to appreciate here than The Road. I feel like The Road was Aaron Lewis just stepping into the shoes of country music, and then Sinner is where he was able to more develop his craft and understand the genre. But let's see what I think of the follow-up album, State I'm In. Despite his success in country music, Aaron Lewis has not forgotten his roots in rock, which he shows front and center on his third solo album, State I'm In, with the song Can't Take Back, which shows a country instrumentation, but a more aggressive vocal style from Aaron in the chorus, showing that he was starting to miss his rock presence.
You don't care at all, 'cause I'm the last cuss word that cuts like a razor. The first sip of sin from an old brown sack. Feel good then and hate yourself later. I'm just another thing that you can't take back.
In my opinion, State I'm In is the best Aaron Lewis album to date. Every song on it is a smash hit, especially my top three favorites, State I'm In, the title track, Can't Take Back, and the duet Reconsider. I've especially put Reconsider at number 1. It displays some of Aaron Lewis's best vocal abilities, and it shows his ability to sing with other people at its best. He's done duets before with Willie Nelson and his daughter, but honestly, I think that this duet is the best. It's a track about a relationship that is going down the tubes, but Aaron wants them to reconsider the state of their relationship and try and improve things, and it is a beautiful track. And I think it is the best that State I'm In has to offer. I give State I'm In a 10 out of 10, and it is definitely the best Aaron Lewis album. In fact, I want to show you a small snippet of Reconsider before we move on to the modern state of Aaron Lewis's music career.
But if I try, would you reconsider? Would you reconsider coming home? And if I cried, would you reconsider? Would you reconsider coming home?
And that brings us to the current day with Aaron Lewis's most recent solo effort, Frayed at Both Ends, released in 2022, and it is Aaron Lewis's second best in my opinion, only coming first to State I'm In. First of all, we have the politically charged Am I the Only One, which is one of the most divisive songs in country music. You either love it or hate it. I've seen reviews of people talking about how it is a crabby, whiny, sorry excuse of a country song, and some people who can really relate to it. And I'm not afraid to admit this, but I relate to it. I'm sorry. It's true. Unfortunately, we live in a world today where everything is offensive or racist. That's how we look at everything. And yes, some of the beliefs that our country were built off of and founded on are a little racist towards African Americans and a little sexist towards women. I'm not denying that this is a fact, that our country was not founded off the best values back in the day. But we have corrected some of those things in the modern day of our country. But that doesn't mean that we should forget where our country came from and how our country started. We can't just tear down statues and tear down pieces of our country's history because they're racist and offensive. We can't just be tearing down these statues and these murals because they're racist, they're sexist. They may be, but they are still a piece of history of where the United States started and where it originated and founded. So we should be able to look back on these murals and these statues with the thought process of, this is where we can improve our country. Instead of ignoring that these things happened, we can learn from these things and say, you know what? These weren't the best beliefs our country had. But we can improve on them and make the country of the United States a more inclusive and more accepting place, right? That's what we should be taking from these statues, instead of just ignoring that they exist. And Aaron Lewis points that out in this song, so honestly, I relate to it and vibe with it. I'm sorry, but that is my personal opinion of Am I the Only One? Another standout track on this album is Everybody Talks to God, a song explaining that no matter what religion you are, you have a country, or you have a God or a deity that you believe and talk to, and that it doesn't matter what God you believe, but that everybody talks to a God of some kind. And I think it's a beautiful country track. And that's why I think that this is the second best Aaron Lewis album. There are other standout tracks on here as well that I don't want to get into because then we would be here all day. But I will say the opener, again, is a great track, and this is just a great album. And I hope you have enjoyed this Aaron Lewis retrospective. I know I enjoyed making it, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Remember to like this video, comment, and subscribe, as this is a new channel that I would like to build off the ground about music, and I think this is a channel that everybody can have an open discussion, either if you love or hate the artist that we are talking about this week, right? I'm going to try and put out one video a week about a different artist, either an album review or retrospective, whatever it is, a discog dive. This is kind of a retrospective and discography dive all in one. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. And my closing thoughts, Aaron Lewis has proven that he can be a multi-platinum selling artist in any genre he wants. He has proven that he can be successful in not only rock and nu metal, but country music, which makes him a very unique artist in the modern day. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on those notifications.